Alright, it's that time of year again. Time to answer the questions that people have asked me. AgenticemanRS asks, do you intend to play Cuphead or Bendy and the Ink Machine? I haven't played Bendy and the Ink Machine, but I've seen footage of Cuphead, and I can't decide. Maybe someday I'll eventually decide on it, just like how I eventually decided to play Shovel Knight, but don't count on it. Are you excited for Metroid Prime 4? Yes! Yes! Now Samus can redeem herself! As long as they're not stupid enough to have Team Ninja work on it. Least favorite creepypasta? The Bulbapod one. I mean seriously, the name Bulbapod? That sounds so stupid! And saying that a dream is called a creepypasta? Do these guys even know what a creepypasta is? Favorite Robotnik voice actor? Long John Baldry. If only because of one epic line. Alex2nd10 asks, what inspired you to make countdowns? People like the Autark and Josh Scorcher. What video game do you think is underrated? Paper Mario Sticker Star and Fire Emblem Fates. What's your favorite Legend of Zelda video game? Twilight Princess. Who's your favorite band/musical artist? I don't really listen to that many, but I'd probably have to say Miley Cyrus. Favorite generation of Pokemon? Generation 3, with Gen 5 being a very close runner-up. AlternativeOwen asks, what's your least favorite video you have made on YouTube? That would be the 2011 version of my hardest bosses list. Assuming that I didn't forget about anything even worse. My repetitive speech pattern and boring style just bring back so many terrible memories. Bensburgerjoint asked, what is your thoughts on the Holodomor, and why do you think people mistake Kalinin for Trostki? I have no idea how to pronounce those. I've never heard of any of those. And I don't think I want to know what Holodomor is, because it sounds bad. Blaze the Movie Fan asked, what's your favorite movie? Frozen, no doubt about that. And I don't care what all the haters think. I can like Frozen if I want. What is your favorite type of a car? Probably a Toyota or a Ferrari. Least favorite Pokemon? Wobbuffet, because it relies on luck, and when you're facing it, you can't escape. How do you feel about still being a bandwagon in the CC? I'm okay with it, with the exception of one problem. It's all these people saying that I'm worse than I was back then. How am I worse than I was back then? If you think I'm bad now, wait until you see my 2011 version of my hardest bosses list, and my video game rants. Especially my ones on Guardian Signs, Recoded, and Starfox Adventures. Bluehamlet asked, how do you plan on improving your content in 2018? I can't think of much I can fix, aside from talking in a way that makes me sound more professional. And I'm glad that I have 720p now, but hopefully I can get to 1080p. What is your opinion on Rick and Morty? I haven't seen it, but I might someday get into it. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Well, I've heard of some Zodiac thing, but that was also the day where I went to a get-together with some of the people who helped me get the job I have today. Suppose you were sitting at a round table. The napkins are in front of you. Which napkins do you take? The one on your left or the one on your right? The one on the right. Have you ever done cosplay? If so, what character? I haven't. How many pieces of bread have you eaten in your life? Probably like over 9,000. Do you use Discord? If so, why not? I don't, but I can't really explain why. I just never got around to it. What is your opinion on Elliot Rodger? Never heard of him. Do you believe in gravity? Yes. What is red and really bad for your teeth? I don't know. Red rocks? What is blue and even worse for your teeth? Blue metal? I don't understand. Brave Rabbit asked, what do you think of Encyclopedia Dramatica? I don't usually go to it because of disturbing imagery, but I've seen some articles and they can be pretty funny. Have you watched Jim81 Jim, now also known as Mr. Metacore? Never heard of him. Who is the worst YouTuber in your opinion? One-Eyed Savvy. Never have I met such a huge backstabber in my entire life. He used to be so nice to me, but now he constantly tells me to commit suicide, all because he got butthurt that I don't like Emperor Lemon. He also thinks I'm stupid for liking Frozen. And he's also a huge hypocrite. He says he's much more mature than me when he created an Encyclopedia Dramatica page and then threw the link around everywhere he went for the sole purpose of getting people to attack me. What do you think of Archfiend and the other members of the ranting community? I haven't seen them. What do you think of that guy with the glasses? I've only seen the Nostalgia Critic, and his reviews are awesome, and better than what they used to be. My favorite of his being his Christmas Story 2 review. Brett asked, what's your opinion on 5% Nation? I don't know anything about it, but I don't think I want to know. It sounds terrible. Brian Guilemette asked, what is the worst movie you've ever watched? Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2, Roderick Rules. What is your most hated cartoon character? Princess from Planet Sheen. Duncan Stevens asked, if you could receive only one Christmas present this year, what would it be and why? I can't decide, probably a PS3 so I can play Nice Journey into Dreams. In last year's Q&A, you mentioned drinking beer. What's your favorite brand? Okay, I went back to watch the Q&A to see what you were talking about. Just because I tried beer once doesn't mean I like it. But here's one thing I should have mentioned. I forgot to say that I didn't like beer, so I don't have a favorite brand. Do you prefer bourbon or scotch when it comes to whiskey? Neither. Have you tried anything stronger yet? No. If you could go back to any moment in your life knowing what you know now, what would it be and why? Okay, this is going to contain a really old drama, so skip to the time frame I'm putting up here if you don't want to hear it. I would want to go back to 2011. That way I'd be able to warn Roshitsu that she's going to be terminated and prevent her from being terminated in the first place. And no, people, don't get any ideas. I'm not the obsessed Roshitsu worshiper that I was. I'm just saying that things would have been better if we still had avoided that stuff happening while still having known from the future. Besides, the reason I would want to go back to 2011 is because I feel like that was one of the biggest roots of me getting laughed at by people even to this day. That way I could prevent that from happening. Do you feel any regret for leaving Freezeezy Peak off of your favorite ice levels video? You know what? I do. I really should have had Freezeezy Peak on it because it's tons of fun. Have you heard about the gout problem in the UK? It's affecting 1 in every 4 males who uses iPhones due to stress and immobility. Do you think it'll hit the USA, and are you worried? Well, I've heard about it before. I am a bit worried about it, but at the same time I don't know what the odds of it hitting the US are. But I think I've heard that it's not fatal, so I guess it's not as bad. EBRoxy72 asked, do you have any thoughts or have you played any of the games from the RPG Maker community? Stuff like Yum, Nikki, Dream Graffiti, LB, Mad Father, Lisa the Painful, One Shot, Witch's House, OFF, Flow, etc.? No, I haven't. Heck, I've never even heard of most of those. Thoughts on the No More Heroes game that's coming to the Switch? I haven't played the series, so I don't plan on getting it. Even if I do get into the series, I won't get the game until I play the first 2. Do you think it's worth it to buy a new 3DS because of all the games that are only playable in the new model? That's what I was gonna ask someone, but I'm kinda leaning towards yes. Especially if you only have one 3DS and want to trade Pokemon. Do you like any forms of music mashups like Silver Gunner or Botanic Sage or the mashups I'm doing? I do like those kinds, as long as they don't sound stupid. Spring, summer, fall, or winter, which is the best season? Either summer or winter. Thoughts on Sonic Forces? I love it. At the beginning of the game it seemed like your generic Sonic 3D platformer, but it got better as it went on. How do you feel about Game Theory? I watch their content and I love it. Still have no idea why I haven't subbed them yet. Feral King asked, what do you have against Bowser? Well, aside from the reasons I already explained, I also see him as a symbol of hopelessness, since he's a villain that will never change his ways and will always be a huge plague to the awesome Mario franchise. Do you lift? Yes, I lift weights. Or is that not what you meant? If not, then I don't know what you mean. Do you praise Atua? Who the heck is that? Frozen Angel asked, who is your favorite commentator? Brooke, because she's smarter than most commentators I know, and she's very helpful. Who is your least favorite commentator? Either Ryan Rhino Mills because of his constant screaming, or Oliver88R for acting like he's better than everyone in his commentaries, despite the fact that he was as smart as Peter Griffin back when he was around. Where's the best countdown you've made this year? It might be my Darkest Zelda Moments list. What is the worst countdown you've made this year? Well, I don't think of any of my countdowns that I made this year as particularly bad, but if I had to come up with one, then that'll be my Hated Characters remake, which I think is just meh, because I did say some pretty stupid things in it. But what I really don't like is that most people say that the list is bad just because of the Bowser entry, proving that they're butthurt fanboys who can't stand the fact that I insulted the guy they worshipped. Though the list itself was probably still bad for reasons that someone might explain. But you can't call an entire list bad because of one entry. That's like if I were to call Monsters Incorporated a terrible movie because I didn't like the part where Boo cried. Gardevoir Fan 1996 asked, what's your favorite thing while doing your channel? I mostly enjoy doing countdown videos, but I'm planning on doing everything wrong with videos on games like the Mario RPGs, the Pokemon games, and some of the Zelda games. What is your favorite dungeon from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess? Does Hyrule Castle count? If not, then I'm going to have to go with Snow Peak Ruins. Do you like that I value your opinions while others don't? I feel very flattered. I'm glad I have someone to respect my opinions, and isn't like those people who spam death threats at me just for happening to like Frozen. Hero of the Wind asked, have you ever played a Hyperdimension Neptunia game before? I've never heard of that franchise. What is your favorite Klonoa character? Klonoa himself. Have you played 3DS exclusive games not published by Nintendo? Which ones? I would have said Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, but since that game is now on the PS4, I'll just have to say the ones that are from Nintendo franchises but weren't published by Nintendo. At least it doesn't say they were. So that means the closest I can find are Pokemon X, Alpha Sapphire, Moon and Ultra Sun, even though they're second parties for Nintendo. Illest Kid on the Block asked, is it okay to be white? As long as you stay away from Black Lives Matter stupid protests. Jacob M. Keene, aka Dr. Pepper King, asked, which one of Crest Seaver's voices in Conker's Bad Fur Day is your favorite? I haven't played the game, but I'd probably say Conker since I can't remember how that many voices sound. Either that or the Panther King. JJ Slider asked, can you actually not ask people to help you all the time and try to improve on your own? Well, I'm somewhat trying to work on that, but I feel like I still need help with parts of my script that I think will be controversial. Least favorite Mario game? Mario & Luigi Bowser's Minions. The Superstar Saga DX remake was great, but Bowser's Minions was awful because of how little input you have on the minions. But if you mean individual Mario games, then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because now even when you go 3 feet away from the wall, you lose control of your kart. Favorite Mario Odyssey Kingdom? Probably the Snow Kingdom. Favorite Donkey Kong game? Donkey Kong 64. Can you do a favorite Smash Bros. Event matches? I would love to, but there's a problem with that. It's harder to pick my favorites than it is to pick my least favorites, because there are more to choose from. Favorite cartoons of the decade? I haven't watched many, so I'll go with Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness. I've also been meaning to get to Gravity Falls, but I never got around to it. Current game of the year? Either Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, or Ultra Sun and Moon. This one King person who has way too many letters in his name asked, what is the worst video you've covered in a commentary? I'd have to say Dinosaur Jr. Fan 01's commentary on Mr. Enter, saying, oh, other moments are disturbing, so that means it's okay, and thinking that people learning bad morals is no big deal. What is your favorite film by the intellectual and groundbreaking director Tommy Wiseau? I haven't seen any. What is the airspeed of an unladen swallow? Probably 150 miles per hour. What are your thoughts on the film Rubber? Never heard of it. What are your thoughts on Gurren Lagann, or however the heck you pronounce it? Never heard of it. Who paid you to grab Dr. Payville? What? I don't understand. What's the joke? Do you have any advice for dealing with trolls? Just try to ignore them. What is your favorite single frame in animation in the hit series Airplane instruction videos from the 1980s? Never seen it. Should the next Zelda game take place predominantly in an apartment building in Manhattan's Upper West Side in New York City? Haha, you're so funny. So funny I forgot to laugh. Would you agree that Spider-Man Homecoming needed more jazz club dance scenes? Your questions confuse me. Which do you prefer, salt or sodium chloride? Salt. What are your thoughts on Mars bars? Never tried any. Could you please speak louder? I had to turn on my living room lights just to hear you. Okay, out of all the stupid questions I don't know how to answer that you've asked me, that was the stupidest and unfunniest one of them all. I hope I don't hurt your feelings, but that just seemed way too forced of a joke. What are your thoughts on the YouTube channel My Abridged? I've seen some parts of their 10-hour loops, but I didn't watch the whole things because I don't want to waste my life. What would you say is the worst fanbase to deal with? Emperor Lemon's fanbase. Because if you don't like his stupid memes, these people stomp, scream, whine, and send constant downward spiral Never Ogre spams in your inboxes. What are your thoughts on Verlicify? Never heard of it. King DDD596 asks, if you were to make your own video game, how would it be and what genre would it be? I don't plan on making video games. The closest I do is making ROM hacks. I want to make a Pokemon ROM hack of some Kingdom Hearts and Mario & Luigi games, and probably even a Pokemon ROM hack of Ocarina of Time. Favorite video game villain? Either Eggman from Sonic, or the other one contains massive spoilers from Pokemon Sun and Moon. My other favorite villain is probably Lucamine from Pokemon Sun and Moon. Favorite video game hero? Probably Link. Favorite Kirby game? Kirby's Epic Yarn. Any games that are guilty pleasures? Star Fox Zero and Metroid Other M. Games you think are overrated? Mario Party 2, Mega Man 3, and Super Paper Mario. Weirdest game you've ever played? Either Star Fox Adventures or the first Rayman. Opinions on Crash Bandicoot? I grew up loving Wrath of Cortex and CTR, and I love Crash 2 and 3. Favorite NPC? I can't decide since there are like millions of them. Favorite Yoshi game? Yoshi's Island DS. Favorite game on the Donkey Kong Country trilogy? The original. SNES or Genesis. Super Nintendo, since I've only played like 5 games on the Genesis. Have you played a game that you used to love when you were younger but hate now? Why, as a matter of fact, yes. Crash Bandicoot Huge Adventure. As a kid, I was crazy addicted to it, but over the years I realized it was bland. especially after finding out that it used way too much from the original trilogy, except watered down to fit the Game Boy Advance. Hardest boss you've ever faced? That contains spoilers from a future countdown, but my answer to that would have to be Master Core. Kyokan94 asked, what are your favorite video game weapons? Hydro Pump, the Catsuit, and the Hookshot. What are your thoughts on Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD? I hated Coliseum for being repetitive, but I loved XD for fixing most of the mistakes. What are your favorite Sega franchises? I haven't played many, so I'll go with Sonic. Thoughts on the Resident Evil franchise? Haven't played it. Favorite video game anti-hero? Meta Knight. Favorite video game waifu? Lucina. Favorite Pokemon? Kyogre. Have you ever played the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games? No. Thoughts on the Metal Gear Solid games? I haven't played them, but I'm wondering if I should. Will you give me a hug? I guess. Michael asked me a question last year, but I didn't answer it the right way, so I decided to answer it again this year. Thoughts on Silver Gunner? Last year I thought you were talking about the original Silver Gunner, since I haven't watched the new one's videos back then. Though I did come across one of his videos while I was looking for music to download from my 2016 anticipated games list. I did accidentally come across his Brawl Ain't No YouTube video, which is this stupid Game Grumps song. At least I think it was a Game Grumps song, I'm pretty sure it is. And I thought he was just being dumb in one of his videos because I didn't understand his channel then. But I'm getting off topic. Some of his videos I enjoy because they can definitely be hilarious, especially his We Are Number One rips. But on the other hand, a lot of his newer videos are remixes of songs that no one will recognize, and I understand that he has certain recurring songs like Granddad's Snow Halaton or whatever, but why does every single Sonic Mania rip he makes have to be a stupid Color Splash reject, Tortino's rip? What's the joke? It's not funny, it just makes him look stupid. Michael also asked me another question this year. Would you agree that Ganta is the best Danganronpa character? I wouldn't know since I haven't played the game. Mikah Cariglio asks, do you think you'll ever make any countdowns that are based off movies like top 10 nostalgic scary moments or top 10 or 15 Disney songs? I would have definitely done one by now if it weren't for all these stupid copyright Nazis. Who was the most overlooked character from Fire Emblem Fates? I can't really think of any overlooked characters. Maybe Mozu? Is your favorite boss from Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance Ansem like mine is? Well, for me, it's either him or one of two others, and I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but my other two favorites are Chernobog and Holy Moly. What's scarier, the doorknob from Muppet's Christmas Carol, Judge Doom's Toon Form, Percy's Ghost Trick from Thomas and Friends, or the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka? Well, both the Ghost Trick and the doorknob did scare me as a kid, though the doorknob part scared me more. And keep in mind I said as a kid and not today. But as of now, I'd probably have to say the Wonka tunnel scene. What is your favorite song from Tarzan? Probably Son of Man. Is there any movies made this year that you found to be good? Cars 3? Though I would have liked it a lot more if Cruz wasn't the most annoying Pixar character ever. But back on topic, what other movies did I think were good? Coco, Wonder Woman, Lego Batman and Ninjago movie, both which I found even better than the first Lego movie, and Leap, which I thought was really underrated, but still had some annoyances. Do you know anyone who hates Guzma? Actually, no. Moss asks, do you think that 18 should be the age of consent, or do you think it should be 14 or 13? 14 or 13 is still way too young, so I think the age of consent is fine the way it is. Miss Cookieman 145 asked, do you eat your pizza with a fork or with mustard? I eat it with a fork, but sometimes I eat it with my hands, but I don't like mustard. NES Mario 123 asked, ever thought about doing and playing 7 Trials to Glory? Never heard of it. Favorite monster game? Haven't played any. Is Akraloth pants? I'm sorry, I don't get the joke, since I haven't heard it from anywhere aside from your question. Nostalgia Skapokon asks, do you like to talk to tomatoes? If a squash can make you smile. Proceleon asks, which of your countdown videos are your favorite to make and why? I'd probably have to say my saddest music list, because it was my first time actually being emotional in a video I did, even though the footage hasn't aged well. So it's not my favorite out of my videos, but it was my favorite to make. What is your opinion on movie tie-in games and or licensed games? I grew up with a lot of them, but I realized a lot of them were pretty bad. The only ones I still love are SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom and Toy Story 2 on the PlayStation. And I kind of have the soft spot for Tigger's Honey Hunt, even though that game is kinda kiddie. Red Scyther 772 asked, not sure if you've said this before, but what is your all-time favorite game? I can't decide. I'd probably say Super Mario Galaxy, but I'm also deciding on Twilight Princess and Chrono Trigger, and I still have to give Super Mario Odyssey some more time to judge. Favorite gaming console? Either the Wii U or the Switch. Rowan185 asked, do you like ninjas? Yes. Do you think pirates are awesome? Definitely. They can do what they want because a pirate is free, and they got them a map that leads them to the hidden box that's all locked up with locks. Is Basculin still your most hated Unova Pokemon? Yes, without a doubt. Do you still hate the Funbrain Arcade Turtle? Yes, but I don't consider it a character anymore. I was just really frustrated, and I had to find an excuse to talk about it somewhere. What would you rather do? Play the DS remake of Final Fantasy III 100%, or have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in your ear? Probably the latter. And even if I also had to eat the rotten butthole of a road-killed skunk right after, then even that would be better. Why don't you like Super Mario Glitchy 4? Because he spends way too much time on sex jokes. Almost as much time as Deadpool does. Thoughts of Corrin and Bayonetta in Smash 4? I'm definitely glad they're in, but I'm more happy about Corrin getting in, since with Bayonetta, I'd rather have Shantae or King K. Rool. Are you a fan of Ash X Serena? Even though most people prefer Ash and Misty, I prefer Ash X Serena. If you hate Poke shipping and Geek Chick shipping, please say yes. I'm sorry, but I don't. Don't judge me for that. What's your favorite couple in the Pokemon anime? Ash X Serena. Thoughts on Disney's Tarzan? I think it's a great movie. I don't love it as much as I used to, but it's still a movie that's worth watching. Have you bought a Nintendo Switch yet? I bought it about a week after lunch. I would have had it on lunch day if they weren't sold out because of Nintendo deciding to open GameStops early.
Who wants a Switch at 3 in the morning?
If you haven't already bought a Switch, what are your thoughts? I'm glad you can finally play games with this good quality on the go. Are you angry at Microsoft for now owning the rights to Banjo-Kazooie? You bet I am! Are you older than your sister, or is your sister older than you? I'm older, but she likes to act like she's older even after she started being nice to me. If Frozen gets represented as a world in Kingdom Hearts 3, will you be angry if Square Enix decides to make it a musical world like they did in Kingdom Hearts 2? You bet darn well I would. What's your favorite trial captain in Pokemon Sun and Moon? Acerola. Since you really hate the SpongeBob episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4, does Patrick's Wumbo joke in that episode irritate you? No, it doesn't, despite my feelings for that episode. I mean, I don't like that moment as much as stuff like, this is Patrick and is mayonnaise an instrument. It's still a good thing to remember about the episode. Have you played or at least heard of Luminous Arc? If so, do you find it overrated for going against your religion? Okay, I understand you're making a joke, but if you're going to ask a joke question, don't ask questions that are near impossible to come up with an answer to without ruining the joke. Scene S asks, what is the worst video game you've ever played? Final Fantasy III for the DS. Tender Zuzga asks, what was the first video game console you owned as a kid? The PS2. The Lazy Kirby 56 asks, besides YouTube, what else do you do for a living? I wash dishes out of high school. The PokeFan891 asks, favorite and least favorite games you played in 2017? My favorites are Ultra Sun and Moon, Super Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild. My least favorites are the original Rayman, Bowser's Minions, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Favorite season 9 through 11 SpongeBob episode? Either Salsa and Basilius or Legends of Bikini Bottom. Is Stunfisk really as bad as people say? No. Do you ever buy games on the Virtual Console? Yes. Super Mario RPG, Yoshi's Story, Donkey Kong Country, the classic Mega Man games, and more. Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, PokeFan, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either. Favorite Brian and Stewie episode? For some reason, I choose Roads to Vegas. What's your favorite and least favorite video you've made? My favorite might be my winter themes of 2015. As for least favorite, I answered in AlternativeOwen's question. Best and worst movie of 2017? For best, either Coco or Wonder Woman. For worst? Well, since I haven't seen the Emoji Movie or Boss Baby, or any 2017 movie I hated, yet, I'm probably going to have to say the live-action Beauty and the Beast. Even though it's a guilty pleasure of mine, what makes it suffer is that the actors can barely sing, and now the Beast is completely heartless. I know he learns his lesson like in the original, but at least in the original he was kind enough to give Belle a room. Are you a brony? No, and I never will be. Favorite Alola region Pokemon? Wishy-washy. Is there any game you'd like to play but can't for whatever reason? Yes. Mother 3 because these nincompoops still won't bring it to America, and Star Fox 2 because even though it's on the Super Nintendo Classic, I don't want to have to pay like $83 just to get one outdated game and a bunch of games I already have. See any new cartoons in 2017? Well, I did watch Bob's Burgers. Favorite and least favorite Family Guy character? My favorite is Peter Griffin, and my least favorite is Quagmire. Did you decide Wumbo? Nope, but thanks for reminding me. I'd better set it from Mini to Wumbo when I get the chance. What game do you hate that others like? Mega Man 3, Castlevania, and Pokemon Conquest. Mario or Luigi? Mario. Have you ever played any of the Danganronpa games, or are you not interested in them? Not interested. Is Sonic overhated? Yes. He gets too much hate all because of a few bad recent games, but I do think that Sonic games are starting to focus too much on reminiscing the classics. Seriously, give us another Sonic Adventure style game. Best and worst YouTuber? For best, it's either Chugga Conroy or CinemaSins. For worst, I already answered in Brave Rabbit's question. Lord Arceus asked, what's your favorite Ultra Beast? I'd probably have to go with either Xurkitree or that one UB Assembly Pokemon, whose name I won't find out until after I post this video. TT33 asked, which Pokemon is most capable of a war crime? Beware. Would you rather marry Waddle Dee or Waddle Doo if you were being threatened with death if you refused? I'd marry Waddle Doo since they're stronger. How are you going to die? Hopefully by old age. Big Boss? What? French fries or apple dippers? French fries. When will you finish your Fallout Tactics playthrough? Probably never, since I haven't played it and have no interest, but there's a slight chance on me changing my mind sometime in my life, but don't count on it. How long did it take to get as big as you are? Do you mean big as in size, or do you mean big as in big on YouTube? If by size, then 18 years. And if you mean on YouTube, then 8 years. Do you prefer eating or drinking as a prank? Drinking. Did my package arrive at your house yet? No. What is your opinion on the Charlie Brown Racism SNES Classic Edition? Not sure. Do you have anything to say to people who smoke cigarettes? I'd tell them to stop, but I unfortunately can't. Are boys or girls better? Neither. How do I find a huge wife? I don't know, just keep looking. What do you most often pray for? That I don't get killed. What man are you most afraid of? Donald Trump. What is your opinion on gays? I think they're okay as long as they don't rub it in that they're gay. Or if they don't try to marry me. Turnabout Randon asked, what is your favorite speedrun? Actually, I haven't watched that many speedruns. I'm probably going to have to go with a speedrun on a game I don't exactly love. It would probably have to be Nintendo-owned speedrun on Metroid Zero Mission, which is no longer up since he stupidly deleted his channel. So I had to show footage of another speedrun. What do you think of Kim Jong-un? I don't know much about him, but judging from other questions I've been asked in the past and know nothing about, I'm hoping this doesn't become an annoying meme like Undertale. Do you use car insurance? If so, what kind? I don't have a car. I've been thinking of getting a car because I want to go places on my own, but at the same time, I'm worried that I might lose focus and crash into something, risking my life. Do you want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride? I hate to ruin the joke, but I don't know much about that. What is the dankest meme? Well, out of any meme that isn't popular on the mainstream but is popular on the internet, assuming I'm not being lied to again like when some idiot lied to me that a sitcom was a live-action comedy 2 years ago, I'm going to have to go with either We Are Number One or Lily wanting Nebby to get in the bag. Vertabun asked, have you ever tasted Four Loko? I highly doubt that since I have no idea what the heck that is. If video games were illegal, would you become a criminal? No. I'd be forced to stop playing them and be miserable for a while. ZPokemonFanA asked, favorite game on the Nintendo Switch so far? Either Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey. Ever played any Disgaea games? No. If Meta Knight were to be removed from Smash, who would be your new main? Pikachu. Opinions on Super Smash Flash? I haven't played it, but it looks cool. What would you hope to see in the next Smash Bros. Game? I want to see Tropical Resort, Slateport City, and Patchland stages. I want the Team Aqua battle theme and Team Plasma battle theme in, and I want Sora to get in really badly. And yes, he may have a chance. Cloud got in, didn't he? Which unreleased game for the Switch are you most excited for? Kirby Star Allies. I mean, oh my gosh, just look at those graphics! Is there any way you feel the Nintendo Switch could be improved? Maybe have some way to charge it on the go? If you could erase your memory of one game to experience it again for the first time, what would it be? Probably Pokemon Sun and Moon. And that's all for this year's Q&A video. I hope you learned something about me, and I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving too. I am Ed57 II, and I will see you in my next video.